What's up, Battletech fans? Welcome back to the pit, where today we're taking on the Inner Sphere Pursuit Lance from the Mercenaries Kickstarter. This video was requested by viewer Mike A, so don't forget to leave a comment to be part of the conversation. I'll be going over my easy Vees method on Mechs this time, and I figured why not tackle a whole lance this go-round instead of just a single unit, so you can see just how fast you can get an army of machines painted up and ready to fight the good fight. We'll go over the same techniques, and you'll be glad to see it's just as easy as the Vees. As usual, all the materials you'll need will be in the video description, so let's get started. I start with my trusty old standby, Wraithbone Spray. I've done this scheme with the Duplicolor in the past, but I find that I really like the Wraithbone Spray more for this. So, make short, quick bursts with the spray nozzle and keep the miniatures about 6 to 8 inches away as you go. These will require about an hour or so to dry before you move on to the next step, so make sure you give them the requisite dry time and don't spray them down in a humid area. Step 1 is grime, just like last time. I'm starting with my new favorite speed paint here, Mummified Grime from the Army Painter. This was recommended to me by Rick at Top Deck Games, and I thought I'd give it a go for a lark. Turned out to be something I really liked, so I recommend you try it too, especially if you like speed paints like me. Give each miniature a go at full strength with this stuff. Don't be shy either, but do try to keep aware as you go of whether or not the liquid is pooling in areas you would really rather it didn't. Believe me, it gets out of hand quick, so as you're working, sop up any excess liquid with your brush to avoid it pooling up and obscuring the details. I used a mid-sized brush for this, so you don't need anything huge, but you want to make sure you aren't using a teeny tiny brush and struggling to get the kind of opaqueness you'd get with a larger brush that made for more even coverage. Give the grime about an hour to dry before you hit it with a coat of Athonian camo shade at full strength. This is going to really set that whole green undertone for later, so the stuff going over top of it has a more subdued, drab hue than it would have if we had just put those things down over top of a white base coat. The darker we make the undercoat, the more lowered the hue will be of whatever it is that we put on top. So remember that. Again, watch for pooling, and remember to let each coat dry before applying the next. Otherwise, what happens is these paints will mix and reactivate. Then you'll have a huge white spot, usually in a highly visible spot on the miniature. Ask me how I know. So give it time. Now we move on to the dry brushing. This is a color called Battle Dress Green by Privateer Press. I don't always use it, but once in a while it comes in really handy for stuff like this. Now, notice I'm not being careful or taking my time here. I'm just blowing through these. That's because that's all you really need to do. Wipe off most of the paint from your brush onto a napkin or paper towel and test it to make sure only a minute amount of paint is coming off of the bristles on each pass. Then, go to town and have fun. Remember, you're just trying to train yourself to be loose here and to enjoy the process rather than obsess about getting every last single detail correct. Once you've gotten an amount of coverage that you're satisfied with, feel free to move on. I liked the whole green thing from the vehicles, and I liked the way it made them look at the end. So I'm going to pick a few areas to highlight in that same Beal Tan Green shade that I used there. This time I'll paint all of their heads green, since it looks like they're all wearing helmets of some kind. Even the cicada, when correctly viewed. So I'll call this pirate bunch Green Heads Goblins, just for fun. Remember, leave some water in the bristles when you go to apply this shade so it goes on a bit thin. Dip your brush fully in the water and just tap it a few times against the ridge of your water container to shake whatever water won't stay in the bristles out, and use what's left to stay in the bristles and thin down your wash. Otherwise, pick some fun details to highlight and give it a go. I went with the keep it simple method and just picked out a few places to avoid going too hard in the paint. See what I did there? I say crime because this is so easy it feels like it's illegal. Like you're getting away with something. Now we're on to the metallics, and you know what I'm about to say. Pick your spots and get to work. I say that because it's a lot easier when you know where you're going before you start, and it helps you from overdoing it. Believe it or not, it is possible to overdo it at this stage, so remember, less is more when it comes to the metallics. My favorite combination for this process is the tried and true 1-2 punch of lead belcher and Nuln Oil. I jokingly call the Nuln Oil liquid skill because of how easy it goes on and how good it looks to me when it's done. So give your metallics a coat of this at full strength. But again, I gotta harp on the dry time. If you don't wait, the shade will thin the paint while it's actually on the Mini, and it leaves you with a swirling black morass of sparkles like one of the Twilight vampires just had some sort of accident. So wait about 30 minutes in between application of metal and shade. And we're done. I used Evil Sun Scarlet on the cockpits, followed by Nuln Oil and Ardcoat for shine. The base is Stirland Mud with Agaros Dunes and Riza Rust. Other basing effects by Army Painter. Barrel heat effects are Magos Purple and Talisar Blue contrast paint. I hope this video helps you see the ease and the joy of painting. You can get these models ready to fight in no time. Not counting dry times, each step only took me about 4 or 5 minutes per miniature. Your mileage may vary. I'm more comfortable painting fast than some folks are. Just work your way up to it. You'll get there eventually. As always, if you like what you see here on the channel, do us a big favor and subscribe. Turn on all notifications so you can see exactly where Battlebound is going to turn up next. Check out our Patreon to keep more Battletech goodness coming your way, and don't forget to share this video with your favorite mecha nerds. Tell me what paint jobs you'd like to see on the pit in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'm Tuckdavian, and I'll see you next time right here out on the Space Lanes.
Be sure to smash our like button and subscribe to our channel.
Crowdfunding is when lots of people give you small amounts of money to help your passion project come to life.